My name's Caitlin Connor, I'm an ice climber from the UK. I'm currently on the Great British team for ice climbing. It started off just that I loved the sport and it was always climbing that I was into. I really liked being up high. Moving over to Drytooling, it just felt a lot scarier at the time, and then ice climbing, you've got, the exposure of it. I enjoy it a lot more now that we've got a team and we're training and things like that. It's just a lot easier to stay motivated.
For a while it was just me and Willis, there was no one else that was that interested in it. And then in the last year it has quite literally just boomed with people, and it's just really nice to have people around you. We're all travelling the world with each other and everyone just is loving it.
All I think about is ice climbing.
It's just as much a discipline of climbing, and it has a place in the climbing world as much as any other discipline. I'd like to see the club recognised as like the world leading dry tooling club. So, really pioneering the sport. I want us to become the example of what and how it should be done.
We've never had a history in the UK of having large structures, lots of coaches, lots of experienced athletes to be able to pass down technique, advice, or even equipment. It's really hard in the UK to start out in this sport. And I think that's kind of the premises of us why we started the Scottish Drytooling Club. We wanted to give people and athletes and people that were just climbing and really psyched to come and try this stuff and show them that A, you can do it, B, it's really accessible and we'll help you do it, and C, that you don't have to have the Gucciest of kit, that you can borrow stuff that, how many times have we helped people out with, you've seen us all today sharing ice axes and doing what we need to. But yeah, just trying to be able to develop a system which allows people to come in as a total beginner, really grassroots, and build them up into, realistically world-class athletes.
There used to be a game called Call of Duty, like Modern Warfare 2, and there's a scene in it where they jump from one pillar to the other on ice axes. And I played that when I was a very wee guy, and I always wanted to go ice climbing. I just seen this come up on Instagram that the club were having events, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go and try this. And I was awful at the beginning and just started like on this one route, and I must have been there for probably about 40 minutes just trying it. And then at the end of the night I'd done it, go back to the floor, and I was like, this is like no other feeling I've ever had before.
So I probably got back into dry tooling properly when I started coaching Caitlin for dry tooling. She was a young, strong female. I thought it was really quite inspiring to get her up to scratch on the level that so many climbers kind of miss out on when they're young, especially young females, especially in Scotland. Caitlin asked me to come to the comps with her as a coach, and I was like, okay, brilliant, yeah, I can do that. That's a cool thing to do. And little did I know she'd sign me up to compete, the little bugger. So I turned up and was like, oh God, I'm gonna have to now. And I didn't really have a choice. And somehow managed to scrape through to finals, totally not having a clue what to do. And we had a right laugh on this trip together, kind of more as friends rather than coach and student anymore. As our kind of relationship as climbing partners have developed. And yeah, from there we just kind of kept going with it, really. We've built a team around that kind of relationship that we started to bring more people on board, to get people involved. So we started the club, and we didn't quite realise it was going to get to where it has. And it's great to see how far it's come from, me and her just kicking about with a pair of tools in a garage somewhere.
I'm happy with that. Yeah. So we just get warm now.
I think we've probably got somewhere in the range of 200-300 members now. I think the figure I'm most proud of is, what we call serviced, so people that have come to an event at some point stage, whether that's as a climber, whether that's someone as a spectator to a competition. But it's into the thousands, the thousands of people that have been introduced to this sport in one way, shape or form, all because of this little club that me and Caitlin started in her back garden. The 1,000 sets of ears that we've opened up to kind of understanding what the sport is and also what it means to people. And it's 1,000 people that have held a set of tools and gone, hey, that was good, I enjoyed that. Which really, like, if that's climbing being enjoyed by people, then that's what it's all about, eh?
Thanks for coming. I know the weather's shit. I know it would have been easy to look at the forecast and go, oh, you know what, I can't be arsed with that. To be fair, the reason we set up the meet was never to go and climb the hardest grades. It's about the group getting together, part of a club, everyone having some really good scran, having some good chat, hopefully getting some climbing done, and just the good camaraderie and the community of being in the hut together.
Is there any ice on the hill, Willis?
Yes!
Is it great?
I don't know if great is the word I would use, but it's okay.
You getting screws in?
It's good enough to climb.
Okay, thanks mate. We'll start on the whiskey then.
There's something magical about that place. You know, the CIC's been around forever, it's steeped in history, and the opportunity to be able to put 26 club members in this magical place at the heart of Scottish winter climbing. Yeah, it just makes you feel proud that you've managed to pull something off that kind of no one else is doing, you know, no one else has bothered to do. So yeah, it's cool. I guess it's got to be for the people, isn't it? It's got to be for those moments where you see someone like Oz climb their hardest grade, and you know that like the story and the background and the history and the kind of the process he's gone through. And I think I really enjoy being able to like help facilitate that, especially when it's something that's a niche that so many people have shrugged off, that so many people have just kind of abandoned. I really hope it kind of, you know, not only leaves a little bit of a legacy for me of what I've kind of put back into the climbing community, because for me, I've taken so much out of it, but also the legacy for the club, that what it has done and what the people have been involved in is something way bigger than just one or two people. It's about the whole spirit of the climbing community as a whole, I would say.
SASFE, I guess it's the one comp that everybody wants to go to. It's super dramatic. There is always some amazing moves. It always feels ultra fierce and really at the top level of the sport. So yeah, SASFE is the one to always come to and really find out what level you're at the moment.
I really like having the time charted. I know a couple of people don't, because then it just gives you something else to kind of worry about, I guess. I feel like my brain's programmed to just hear Willis, but because if I'm like, can anyone shout time, it needs to be Willis. I've got kind of aims on the wall where I want to be at certain times, and I know how well I'm climbing as well. So if I've been stuck in a move for a wee while, and I can hear Willis being like, right, come on, that to me means that I've been there for too long, and then I kind of step it up again. It's nice to just know that he knows what I'm thinking as well at the same time.
Next home! Next home! Come on,
The limits in ice climbing is so on or off. You've made it or you've not. It can be so heartbreaking at sometimes.
I always still see her as almost like a little sister, you know, she's still that kid to me.
Right. Come here. Don't worry about it. Anyone stupid move, you dick. You gotta laugh about it.
How many times?
I was like, fuck's sake, could you hurry up and just get the hole?
I think travelling lots all across the country, travelling abroad, and doing some of these big kind of scary objectives that I would say most young female teenagers would never dare do, Really gave her a sense of maturity well above her kind of time and age, I would say.
That was brutal.
Right, next route to the top, please.
Right.
Hey ho, you win some, you lose some. Yeah. That is the sport.
It's always intense. It's always dramatic. You never really know what's going to happen. You can have the best climber in the room fall off the first hold. You can have the newest climber absolutely destroy a route with the crowd behind them, giving them everything they've got. So yeah, it's always full on here. This sport's got so many people that care about it so much that the more you get into it, the more you realise how much everybody's invested in it, from the athletes to the organisers, even to the fans. It's still small and it's still a niche, but to be part of something that's niche that everybody cares about is such an awesome thing to be involved in. And yeah, the more we can all give to it, the bigger it's going to get and the more you're going to see from it.
We're at the works for our annual meeting for the Scottish Drytooling Club today. Basically why we do it is to get as many new people into drytooling as we can and to mix them with the people who have done it for years and the people who have never done it. This is like what I would personally say is sort of like the origin of the sport.
Do committee/GB climbers want to stick their hands up a second, just so everybody knows who's who? So if somebody's got their hand up, these guys are WODs, they can sort you out and help you out. These guys will keep you straight, all right? So go and have a chat with them, grab one of them, stick your helmets on, come and get some fruit boots on and have a go.
There's two people who have never climbed. Yeah, that's quite cool. So in here, you're like, oh, do you like want a hand or show anything? And they're like, yeah, sick. And then you show them a few things and I always find it amazing because they're so much smarter than I was at the beginning, and I'll try and tell them something and they're like, I get you, say less, I've got this. And then they'll do it and I'm like, fucking hell, that took me 9 months to learn and you've just done it in like a few minutes.
Thank you. Well done. Nice. That was a great first experience of drytooling outdoors.
Nah, there's absolutely no point in like going off on your own and being good when you can't take anyone with you, or like them getting to the top of that is the same as like Willis getting to the top of that, or Caitlin. It doesn't matter. It's just like people are doing well and doing better, so that's the aim. If you're climbing the hardest thing in the world or the easiest thing in the world, if you put effort into it and you get to the change, same feeling. Like for that one person, the feeling's exactly the same, regardless of how hard it is.
I'd just love to see more people be like, hey, yeah, I have tried that. Not saying everybody needs to get into it, not saying everybody needs to like buy their own axes and be heavily training for drytooling, but most people now, regardless of whether they're a sport climber, a trad climber, a big waller, they've been indoor bouldering. I'd love to see that most people were able to say, oh yeah, I've tried drytooling. That would be really cool.
So this is the first place I ever came climbing. My dad brought me when I was like 10. And this was the first youth team I was on as well, so it is quite comforting being here. And I think the nerves mainly just come from the fact that family and friends will be there to watch, and you know, it's your home also, people expect you to do a wee bit better than normal, I think. Fingers crossed that's what happens.
We've got a lot of new climbers in the UK that are going to be coming along to this as their first competition, which is pretty crazy really, like a European Cup. But then that's exactly what these cups are for. And I think people need to get out that stigma of that the UIA competitions are for the elite. Yes, they are, but they also can be for everybody, and they're so much fun. And what you'll see tomorrow is that everybody gets behind each other. So I think that's really important, that people realise that they can go to these comps.
We don't have facilities like this all the time, so for us to turn up and climb where we come every other night and actually do our sport in front of people, that's absolutely amazing. Because if we had something like that all the time, we'd just be so much better.
Oz is, if you had a definition of someone going from zero to hero, that is the guy.
So my climbing background consisted of nothing, and then I went to a Scottish Drytooling event about 2 years ago now, and ever since then I've just been hooked. So I had no climbing background before I got into this, and just through determination and turning up constantly, ended up at World Cups.
Come on. Perfect. Yeah. Come on.
What's your rock climbing grade? 8A?
In climbing rock?
Yeah.
8A.
Yeah. That's why you know how to move your body.
Mine's like 6C.
What?
Mine's like 6C. Like there's going to be dynos tomorrow in the qualifiers, and dynos are normally in like semi-finals and finals, so if you're not at that level, you don't get to do them. So it'll be interesting to see tomorrow how many people get there and go, oh my god, oh I can't wait. Like I don't mind doing them at all, so it's going to be fun. I just hope to land it.
I think we've made so many leaps and bounds over the last couple of months. Sometimes you lose track of where you're at. You know, Chris, we're not even 2 years in now since the day we started the club as like an official entity. And look what we've managed to build. We're making massive leaps and strides. And sometimes I think I have to take a little step back and be like, actually, we need to really be proud of what we've done, not just be disappointed that we're not at the dream yet. But we really are getting there. And yeah, running the European Cup this year was huge. You know, being able to not only pull off an amazing competition that was run well and organised well, but also to have such feedback from world-class athletes that have been competing for 10, 15 years, have done all the competitions this year. And for all of them to be like, that was the best we've ever had. And it's the first time we've ever done it at that level. So it's just like, if we can pull that off now, imagine what we can do in 5 years, you know?
Come on, Rory!
Rory, next flip, come on, next flip.
Come on, Rory!
Yeah!
Yes, Rory, come on!
Yes!
It's awesome to see when I kind of step out of the system or step out of the situation. Finland, for instance, where she went with the other youths and I wasn't there, and to see her as kind of the, the responsible adult, the role model, the person that's kind of leading the way, and to see her drip feeding what I taught her downwards onto the next generation.
Yeah, pretty good. I made finals in first.
Nice one, buddy. You're a hero.
Sweet.
Well done, man.
Caitlin's is actually more responsible than she lets on. She's really good. Don't tell her I said that.
I kind of quite like having the wee ones to kind of keep an eye on and things like that, because I feel like it means that I take the pressure off myself a wee bit more. It's just nice to know that they've got us, and so yeah, I definitely think with the Tooling Club as well, it's just really easy to kind of foster it.
Come on, Caitlin. Yes, Caitlin, you got this. Come on. Come on. Woo!
That went well. Never meant to.
Yeah, wouldn't be possible without the club. The club is the reason like we're all here basically. I mean, we've got like 2 world champions now. Like, it's getting big. So the club's building, I think is what it's doing. This is just the start, I think.
Yeah, I could spend more time training, and yeah, I could spend more time personally excelling for my own ambition. But, you know, there's too many people doing that and just thinking about themselves. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but like, it's easy to be selfish. It's so easy. It's so easy to want to get stronger and climb your hardest grade and to push. And that climbing really, nowadays, really pushes people to be that person that is climbing the hardest or doing the best, and to it all will be about like you. When actually climbing for me has always been about the moments that you share with people, and it sounds like such a cliche, but it's true. You don't remember those moments that you're on your own, that you've like done a hard boulder problem. You remember those moments where you fell off a boulder problem that was easy and all of you and your mates laughed about it. I guess the club is just a big version of that. It's something that's bigger than me. It leaves a mark on climbing, the community and the history of it, for so much more than just one person to talk about what they've done. Rather than me getting better and being able to tell about, you know, all the routes I've done, I'd like to say that I've got a small part in all the routes that everybody that's gone through the Drytooling Club will ever do. Regardless of whether or not I actually physically input their coaching, their training or whatever, in some way, shape or form, by building that first seed, everything that grows out of it is part of my climbing. And for me, that's a way bigger ambition, to build a big tree with a massive network of all the routes that ever get climbed, and all the experiences and moments people will have through climbing because we started this club. And for me, yeah, I'm willing to self-sacrifice for that.